Hello, welcome back. So we are going to continue on with our playthrough of the Goalie Be a Pro, and today we are taking on the New York Islanders. So that should be fun. Now we have a little bit of leeway. It looks like the coach isn't too upset with how we're performing. I'm pretty sure we got ejected from the last game, so that's not great. But he wants us to win two of the next four, and he wants me to hold them to 2 goals against or less. So that's not going to be easy. Um, I'm not a great goaltender. I'm all right, I think. I've been trying to find ways to get a little bit of extra practice. Um, I've got another separate file that I use for um, that I use just kind of set up more like in the ASHL settings, and hopefully that's gonna work for me and help me get a little bit more into form. But for now, we're just gonna continue on our career. Okay, we got our first shot on goal, or first shot on goal. We stopped it, so that's good. Take that any day of the week. Okay, coming back down. I always find that when I'm playing, I would much rather do a butterfly hug to the post rather than a VH. Um, you still have to have really good reflexes to be able to stop anything that comes out off of the goal line from a butterfly hug, but it seems like when I'm in the VH, I don't stand a chance. So I generally like to go down to my butterfly, then move over to the post. Um, but I thought, even though I've got a rough idea of how to be a goalie in this game, the it wouldn't be a bad idea for me to look at some tips and stuff, see who's recommending what. And there was one piece of advice that was given that it really hadn't occurred to me until it was pointed out that when you're playing, you don't want to be watching the goalie. You want to be watching the puck with the goalie in your peripheral. And it's kind of one of those weird, awkward things that when you first start to do it, you're like, this is going to be impossible. I'm not going to be able to do this. You know, that kind of thing, right? And even though I got a little bit of practice with it, it actually got really easy really quickly. So I'm hoping that'll help in my games moving forward, especially because I don't have the trainer on anymore. So Steve Dangle's going to yell at me, but I got to do what I got to do. Um, I pointed this out in the last video that when you're playing, you want to try and keep your team play up by making good passes and things like that, because you want to try and have about 7% more than what your target is, because 7% is what gets taken off if you suffer a loss. And even if you're not doing well, even if you're not getting a ton of wins, if your evaluations are going well, then you still stand a chance to, you know, have a pretty good career, get more starts, things like that. So you definitely want to try to do that. Oh, get back in the net. Oh, there we go. I'm not getting good passes, but I'm playing the puck. So at the very least, keeping the puck moving is helping my case. Oh, oh, I uh, I don't know if I would have made that pass, but hey, if you want to be brave enough, then go nuts. I'm one of those goalies that I'm not shy about uh, trying to trying to get a stoppage of play if there's too many too many players around me ready to take the puck and fire it. So if I gotta slow things down, I absolutely will, because there's been so many instances where I've passed out the puck going, oh, I think I'm good, I think I'm good, but uh, delayed reaction on that. I wasn't sure if he was gonna shoot or pass. Alrighty, so oh, we've already let one in, so This isn't looking good so far. I keep having to look over to see what's going on my OBS because my screen right now is tilted, so everything looks like really washed and bright, and I can't really see it that well. And I keep looking over at my OBS, going, "Does it still look proper? Does it still look okay?" And it looks fine, but my brain kind of does this thing where it's like, "You've checked, you're good." 30 seconds later, you might need to check again. Yeah, you definitely got to check again. And it's like, why? Why? I'm trying to focus on the game. Less than 10 minutes into the first period, and I'm already gunning to lose the coach's challenge. And I hate when that happens because... Oh. Apparently I forgot to put my phone on silent. We'll just very sneakily put that away. Not that important. Ripping. 2 minutes for you can't do that. So, yeah. Super professional. Okay. It really seems like my team is not really great at winning face-offs whenever I'm a goalie. So I always try to play center whenever I can, because the computer center on my team just never seems to be able to do well on the face-offs, and then you wind up chasing the puck more often than not. I'm using the recommended camera angle that a couple different tips videos I watched pointed out, is using the angle that I'm using because it kind of helps you line up a little easier. But when I do and I've got the puck, I can't see where I'm passing to, so I'm basically throwing it out into the middle of nowhere and hoping I didn't just pass it off to an enemy, because there's no way I'm getting back in time to stop that. You know, what comes to mind was, I think, 2 years ago in the Stanley Cup playoffs, you know, kind of Tristan Jarry, actually against the Islanders. He's just standing there at the goal line. He's got the puck. He goes to dump it out, and for some reason just puts it right on Matt Barzal's... Or no, it wasn't Matt Barzal. Josh Bailey. I think he put it on Josh Bailey's stick, and yeah, that was it. That was all she wrote. That was game 5 in a 2-2 series, so... Wow. Islanders are just kind of gooning it up right now. You know what? I'll take it. I'll take being on the penalty kill. Okay. You guys have a 5-on-3. Let's do something with it. I'd like a little bit of breathing room. Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, that wasn't a great dump. Oh, I actually got that. You got to kind of cheat the dump. Like, you have to kind of be paying attention, because especially as a rookie goaltender, your attributes aren't very good, and you need a high speed to be able to beat the foot race without cheating. So I definitely don't like how much I have to play the puck, but I mean, it is what it is. It's not like I get snake bit that often by having to do that, but I've been snake bit enough times that I don't like having to do it when I don't need to. I also have watched every episode of Steve's Dang. It's like at least 2 or 3 times, so you know, over the last couple of years, all I've been able to hear in my head is you're a goaltender, tend the goal, right? And it's funny because he points out in that series, and after he pointed it out, I kind of have to agree. It seems to be an increasing problem from what it used to be, where goaltenders weren't playing the puck as much. So I think when they weren't played well, they kind of stood out a little bit more. What was his name? Johan Hedberg comes to mind. I think he was a Thrashers, Thrashers or Canucks goaltender, or both maybe. He was prone to doing that, and he'd be out up at the top of the face-off circle trying to play back the puck, and he'd get run over, something would get screwed up, and just a big juicy give me. So yeah, but I mean the NHL's evolving so much that you know every position has to get played a little bit different every year, and you got to keep up with the technique to stay competitive. Um, when it comes to when you got a lot of high flying forwards and speeds the game, trying to slow it down is kind of your goal, right? You either got to get faster, or you got to find a way to slow them down, and that kind of created the dead puck era, where it just defense really wasn't a thing before that, and then defense was the thing, and then after defense, it was okay to beat that. You need speed, and then with speed came guys getting bigger, and goaltenders are no different. Before it was the little guy who couldn't necessarily skate that well. He was the goalie, and now you look at your average NHL goaltender, and most of them are over 6'4". As opposed to like Mike Vernon, who I think is only like 5'8" or 5'10" maybe. So not a tall guy by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, it's the game keeps evolving, and it'll keep evolving over and over again, and it's kind of like a cycle. You know, there's a plan that works, and then teams and players figure out how to change the plan so it's in their benefit, and then that changes the technique. Where did that even go in? I didn't even see that. Here, fix that so I can see it a little bit better. So I now have to get no goals against in the next 45 minutes of game time. This is fun. I'm having fun. And it's unfortunate, when I was going through the early part of the season and through the first video, Chicago was actually doing pretty well right up until I started trying to help goaltend, and then it just seems like the record's gone south since. Like they were 10-5 at one point, and now I think they're a little bit over 500. So yeah, quick turn for the worse. But I'm also just the rookie. I still think I shouldn't even be in this spot. Oh, Jonathan Taves, an uncharacteristic wrist shot. Normally he's a backhand, but I mean, hey, they'll walk in and let him do it. Why not? Especially at a $10.5 million contract, you'll take every point you can get. A lot of the narrative this year I've noticed with Chicago is what's happening with Kane and Taves. How are they going to move? When are they going to move? I would say Jonathan Taves, if they can find a way to get him moved, it'll be before the deadline. I don't think that'll be the case for Patrick Kane. I think Chicago will try to hold on to him till the deadline, and then see what they can work out. Maybe a three-way trade where Arizona eats some of his cap hit, kind of thing, and find a team that's willing to pay the highest price for him, because when you've got Patrick Kane up on the trade block, any team that's a contender or bound for the playoffs is going to try and take a bid on him, because he is definitely a player that you add him to any forward group in the league, and that puts you over the top, for my money. Just such an effective and good player. Like him or not, like it's Patrick Kane's one of those players that you're either going to like him or you're not going to like him, and whether it's for on ice or off ice reasons. Me personally, I ignore players' off ice instances as much as I can. There are a couple exceptions to that, but generally it has to be pretty bad for me to be paying attention to the off ice stuff. But as an on ice player, I like Patrick Kane. I've always liked him. Just so fast, so skilled. Alrighty, so with less than a minute left in the period, we're on the power play again, so I'll take that. Nope. Okay, maybe I could have got that, but I don't think so. I think that would have just screwed things up if I had actually got that. Because there's a point in the trapezoid, like if it's only a foot or two into the trapezoid, I generally try to leave it for the defenseman anyway. Because it seems like whenever I try to grab it at that point and they're trying to go for it, it messes up the breakout, and then I wind up facing shots against really easily. So there's a point where I'm just like, I gotta let it go. I'm not the star goalie yet, but I want to give it an honest effort, right? Even though I think in the last game I got pulled, which doesn't feel great, but I mean, oh, that's why. Okay. So we'll see Jonathan Taves 1 goal, and then okay, we'll take that. I thought it was going to be show off Taves and then show off both of my goals against, and that's one thing I hate is reliving that, because more often than not I find I get frustrated at the goals where I get beat because my attributes aren't high enough, not because I didn't play properly. When I screw it up and I'm out of position and things like that, I've got no problem owning that. But oh, trying to dangle. Nope. He's gonna slow it down. But yeah, like if I feel like I get 3 goals against and I played all 3 of them well, I just don't have the stats and I get beat. There's so much more painful to watch than just I'm strung out in the 3rd row of the lower bowl, and that's because I screwed that up. Oh, good pass. So while I'm trying to get back, you pass it across the front of the net with somebody in the defensive zone. Thank you. I swear sometimes the computer's just gunning to make my job as hard as possible. Pick a direction. Yeah, that wasn't a great pass, but I kind of panicked there. Okay, they're coming off the power play, so should be expecting to actually get pressure down in my zone now. So that's the other thing. I'm the kind of goaltender. I like to face a lot of shots. Not like, oh, nice. I'll take that. I like to face a lot of shots. Not like what Karel Vejmelka's faced in the first 2 games of Arizona's season so far. He's facing an average of like 47 shots per game. That's too much. But if I can face 30, 35 shots, I like that, because I'm one of those guys that starts to fall asleep if the puck's not coming my way regularly enough. So and that's part of the thing. That's why some goaltenders' nights, like if they don't have a great night, they can look worse than they really are. You know, if a goaltender only faces, say 21 shots, but he still lets in 3 goals, well, yeah, that's because he's falling asleep. He's not seeing a whole lot of rubber, so, they like to see about 30 shots because that keeps them active through most of the game, usually. Okay. Anders Lee. I thought Anders Lee had to change his number because they retired someone else who already had the number while he was wearing it. Or maybe he'll just be the last person to wear it, but I could have sworn he was supposed to change his number, but I'm not going to argue with it. That just means that my Islanders jersey's current. Because when I get jerseys, getting jerseys brand new is really expensive. So I don't mind looking for a deal on a jersey. You know, taking that little extra time to, you know, get one for a good price as opposed to paying full price for brand new. There are a few exceptions. My my Vegas Golden Knights Flurry jersey, I bought that one brand new in 2017 because, well, I was so excited for it. Um, I've become less excited about the team in the years that have followed, but I didn't mind paying full price for that one. But most of my other ones, I either found a deal anyway, or it's a player that got moved and they had to sell off the last of the inventory for that player, and I got a wicked deal for it. Um, my Ethan Bear jersey for Edmonton, which I got recently. A few years ago, I got a an Eric Carlson Senators jersey. That one was so bad. Like he'd already been in San Jose, I think, for 2 or 3 years when I finally got it, but they couldn't give them away, so they were at like $50 for a brand new one. So I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll pay that. I will pay that happily. So I honestly don't care if a player's moved on and I still have a jersey from a former team. Galchenyuk's another one. After he got traded out of Montreal, that's when I finally picked up one of their jerseys. Ironically enough, I wound up updating it with a player that got moved anyway because I got a breakaway. This was just that was right around the time when the Adidas's were first coming out. So I was like, you know what? I'll give the breakaways a chance, see what they're like. And I picked up a Calgary one, and I didn't mind the Calgary one. Ah, I didn't mind the Calgary one. It clearly wasn't the same quality, but it was all right. You know, I didn't have any complaints about it. And then I picked up the Galchenyuk one, and I was like, this is almost like a long sleeve shirt more than it's a jersey. But I was like, whatever. At least I've got something for Montreal. And then after Shea Weber's contract, I say his contract because I don't think he's going to play again. I got traded to Vegas. They had a deal on his jersey, so I'm like, I like Shea Weber. Need to update my Montreal one, so went and picked it up. So, and I got a Tavares jersey as well for a decent price. I think literally only because it doesn't have the captaincy on it. I think that's the only reason. My thought is, well, why not just put the C on it? Like I would imagine where they get them from, you're customizing them in the same building. Just throw a C on it and sell it for full price because it is a prime green jersey, not an original Adidas. So that's the current jersey. But hey, whatever. If they don't feel like doing it and they want to give me a good price on the jersey, I'll take it. Oh, I always get terrified when they do that. The, it's always the cross creases. My coach is not going to be happy with me. That is the one downfall to the camera angle I'm using, and I may try to pull it back a little bit, see if I can find an angle that's just it's like same thing but just a tad further back so I can see that far side. But yeah, trying to get those cross creases, especially on low stats, is you really have to have some foresight and a little bit of luck to get those. So that again, that one is less painful than the ones that they tee up right in front of me. I'm in a good position. Just my low glove is too low of a stat. Those are the ones that I get annoyed with. It's like I'm doing the thing right. I'm doing it correctly. But oh, but I also again, I pick the team. It's not like there's a draft expectation. I'm not I'm not going to be like a Carter Hart or a Jake Ottinger where I start lighting up the league with my performances as I give up yet another goal. Man, my stats are going to be so bad at the end of the year. These are the instances when I would almost rather be in the AHL because at least then it's not tracking on my NHL career stats. But whatever. Maybe I can have an awful rookie campaign and then a nice, long, fruitful career. Oh. Oh. Okay. Had a little bit of a hiccup there in the game. I don't know what that was all about. It actually likely wasn't the game itself. It was probably my console companion because without my capture card, this is the only way I'm able to actually record the gameplay until I get it back. Which reminds me, I have to contact that person today. I gotta get that back. It'll also help with the audio issue I've been having because the way I have to run the audio from the game is it's coming through as a raw signal. So my OBS doesn't really handle it very well. But once I run it through the capture card, I can set the capture card as an independent audio signal, and then I have a lot better control over it. So that would be nice. When I do recordings of my N64 games, that's how I do it. I've got an actual device that I record it from, and once I figured out how it gets its own audio signal, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to remember that. So, oh, oh, backhand from like 35 feet away. That it's not ideal. I mean, unless you're Jaromir Jagr. That's one of my favorite old highlights. Jagr just dancing through the offensive zone, and he cuts across the middle above the hash marks there, and yeah, he's like 30 feet out or something, and he just whips a rocket of a backhand, and you're like, wow, that's pretty impressive. It still astounds me that guy is still playing hockey professionally. Obviously not in the NHL, and he will not be back in the NHL. I don't think his body can handle that workload anymore. But I mean, the guy's 50 and still playing hockey, so that's nothing short of spectacular. And oh, I'm so glad that those slap shots that far out generally are not very accurate. Alrighty, well, my team's found a way to kind of cover for my mistakes. Hopefully I don't have a flub of a second period, but ideally I would like to be, yeah, ideally I'd like to have a no goal third period, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so if you look over, you see my team play target that asking for 70%. I think I'm almost at 80. So in theory, if I keep that team play score up, even if I take the loss, I'll still get a good evaluation. Hopefully. If we could turn around and pull out the win, that would be nice too. We're only down 1 goal. But I just oh. Ah, that's the thing. I get stuck in my butterfly like that, and then I panic. That's the other thing is getting rid of that panic reflex. That's really hard because once I'm down in my butterfly, it's kind of like, well, I'm already here, but you have a lot better control and you can move a little bit quicker if you're standing up. Not fast, like you don't move fast, but you respond. Your character responds quicker. Oh yeah, This is getting bad. So each period I've let in at least the number of goals that my coach wanted me to keep the game to. So it's not going well. I think I'm going to be at like probably going to be at Corral Vamelka numbers here. I think I'm going to be at about 5.5 goals against. That would suck. Okay. The other thing is I'd like to know why, like, what they changed in the programming of this game, because traditionally goaltenders don't get left in with this many goals against. Like, usually a coach will consider a pull at about 5 or 6 goals, not 7 or more. I had one game that I was in for 9 goals against, and I'm like, dude, I'm a rookie. Don't do this to me. The coach is just, it's fine. You're fine. But I'm really not. Try and stay on the feet. Yeah. Yeah, I'll slow that down a little bit. Okay. Oh, yeah, right. I covered it. For some reason my brain panicked and went, "Are we on the penalty kill?" No. I'm fine. I'm fine. No need to panic. Oh. All right. Oh. Bad giveaway. All right. It's a little nitpicky detail, and I don't know if this is just my eye imagining it, but it looks like the shade of orange that's on Sorokin's pads are more for Edmonton than they are for the Islanders. Oh, all right. Let's see what we got here. Why do guys decide that they're gonna cut 10 feet in front of the net with somebody chasing them? Because all I'm thinking is, great, you're gonna get picked and I'm gonna get shot on from point blank, and there's no way I'm stopping that. Fight! Oh, yeah, dodge! Oh, damn! I always hope that I can get to the bench, at least get on the bench so it registered I got there. Uh, oh, game misconduct. Bye bye. All right, you guys have an indefinite 5-minute power play here. Lots of goals. Just score like 40 goals. That would be fantastic. I think that might be asking a little bit much of the forward group. Although I would expect the defensemen to get a couple of those too, so maybe it's not so bad. Just get a whole line of Daryl Settlers going. It still blows my mind to think that, like, even back in the era when he played, like, you know, he was actually able to accomplish 10 points in one game. I can't believe I didn't get a delay of game penalty for that. Does it not track it if, did it not track that properly? Because pretty sure that should have been a delay of game. Oh well. I won't argue with it. If I get a delay of game penalty, all that's going to do is just hurt my team play rating, and I don't want that, because it looks like I may actually survive above target for this game. And Kachuk coughs it up. Again, I can't see nothing. These blind passes are scaring me, but I gotta do something. Alright. How much time do we have left on that power play? If it would show it. 3.5 minutes, okay. I'm not sure if the clock's running the way it's supposed to. I might have to check my settings. It seems like it goes the full clock timer during a power play, which would also explain why this video seems to be longer than it should be. Guess we'll find out here. No? Guess not. Go, go. Why would you look at that instance and go, hey, there's a guy in the middle of the defensive zone. There's somebody right there. Let's pass to that guy. Just walk out along the boards with it. Just get it away from me. Whose side are you on? Seriously. Really? Really, dude? What? What are you complaining about? Yeah, no, that was an awful stick lift. I've seen some penalties where you look at it and you're like, even with the game AI, you're like, well, I don't know, is that actually a penalty? That's kind of flimsy. Then you look at when they do something like that and you're just, oh. There we go. Need a goal. Fantastic. That's not my job. Oh. I'm glad my goalie didn't move. I honestly, I thought he was going to pass that. All right. I mean, granted that it's a 4-on-3 power play, these penalty killers are getting kind of brave. But I mean, when you have less than a half period to make up 3 goals, you're gonna do what you can to try and squeeze out a free point. All right, buddy. Let's see what we got. Were you aiming for the second deck with that shot? You weren't aiming for me. Okay. Wow. Some actual defensive coverage. That was kind of nice and hugely appreciated. Now we're back to 4-on-4. McCabe, that guy. The guy that just went off the ice. We like that guy. Okay. And back off they go. So, speaking of Athanasiou, I did a video yesterday, and one surprising stat the first 2 games into the season for Chicago is Andreas Athanasiou and Matt Duchene are actually tied for most penalty minutes right now, which for anybody who's aware of either of those players, that's wildly uncharacteristic of them. They generally have pretty, I don't want to say like really low penalty minute numbers, but they're generally on the lower end, well below average. So to see them as the leaders was just kind of funny. It's obviously not going to last long into the season, but can't help but enjoy seeing, like I pointed out in the video, it's you like seeing stats that you'll only see leaders at the beginning of the season. a couple games in when everything's a little bit weird and you're getting your first couple inputs on stats, like for power play goals right now, it's Connor McDavid is tied for first with 3, and he's tied with Valerie Nichushkin. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm happy for the guy. I'm sure he's loving it, but it just, my brain's just like, that's weird. That's weird. You're talking about a scoring race between McDavid and Nichushkin. Like, in what world is that a thing? Oh, first couple games of this season, that's the thing. Okay, what you got? What you got? Wow, wow. I love how you guys are playing defense in the last half of the third period, finally. Not that I can talk that much. It's not like I've been helping the situation at all. Well, coach needs a goal, and I don't know what he expects me to do about it. Maybe he wants me to grab it, do a Patrick Waugh thing, do a spin deke, get to center ice, and just dump it. See if I can get a freebie that way. All right, guys, if you're gonna start pulling goals out of nowhere, any time would be good now. Please and thank you. But even with the high goals against, at least I didn't get pulled this time. Even if that does seem to be a broken AI mechanic, because I haven't been playing well enough to justify keeping me in with this many goals against. Sometimes you'll see goaltenders at the end of a game, and yeah, they will have 6 or 7 goals against, but that's been over the course of the entire game. But the coach is paying attention. He probably should have pulled me and said, you can sit the third period out. We'll go with the other guy. But he didn't, and we have secured our next loss successfully. Courtesy of yours truly. Okay. Are we going to get stuck in this? I really hope not. Those are the games that I hate where you've got a team that's down in the offensive zone taking face-offs, and they get the face-off, they find a way to take a shot. Oh, Patrick Kane with a goal. Okay, I'll take that. Make my numbers not look quite so bad by comparison. But where they're not scoring, they're just winning the face-off, taking a shot, the goalie covers it, rinse and repeat, and that makes the last couple minutes of the game drag on too much. Oh, Patrick Kane's way up there on the leaderboard, even at his age. This is what, his 15th season or something like that? Why? Why did you walk all the way back here? No. Oh. I don't know what possessed me to do that. Okay. Am I still? Yeah. We're 2 goals in. It's the offense, or 2 goals down, offensive zone. Less than 30 seconds, and I'm still in the net. I think they've got a few tweaks to do now that I'm noticing it, because, again, there's 2 AI instances, especially with goalies, that you would think would be panning out the way they usually do, but I guess not. I don't have anything set weirdly or anything like that. Oh, bad pass. Bad pass. Of all the passes I made, I think if that's the only one I gave up as a flub, that's not bad. Okay. 3-star? Am I one of them? I'm gonna guess probably not. Nice. Nice. So my team play was an A plus, even though I lost. Did I do that much passing? Like, seriously? I guess we'll find out, but we'll finish this out because this video's, again, turning out to be a bit longer than I expected, so I wonder if the penalties have something to do with that. So I'll take a look at that and adjust it so that ideally these videos run a little quicker. I got to turn back a couple extra minutes because they're 7-minute periods. I might just tune them back to 5-minute periods. I won't go any lower than that, but tune them to 5-minute periods. Maybe get this looking a little bit more like an EASHL game. And the loss. And the loss. Skip segment. I don't want to hear the commentary, so yeah, my team play was actually 100. That's interesting. But my saves took an absolute friggin' nosedive. And we are gonna get a cutscene of the coach not being happy with me. So we'll sim to the next game. Yikes. Again, Karel Vamelka like numbers. That was not the level of play I expected. So I'm not letting it bother me. I am not letting this bother me. I am in no condition and have given you no reason to think otherwise that I should be starting these games. I should be playing for Rockford. Oh, that agility. Oh, yikes. That's a concern. Um I think my play speaks for itself. I should be in the heart of the race. No. I'm not even thinking about the Calder right now. Win 3 out of the next 5 and I have yet to win 1. And the one win that I do have on the season was a simmed game. Yeah. Okay, whatever. Whatever. Sim game. And 3 out of the next 5, I'd sure, why not? Yeah, we're 13, 11, and 1. So that means since they were at 10 and 5, they've gone 3, 6, and 1 in their last 10 games. Which is not all on me, but I've got a healthy hand to play in that. Granted that I'm 0-4 and 1, but I think I was 1 and 1 at first, so okay, so we're rounding into mid-December. That's the one thing I do like about being a goalie is especially if you're not playing overly well, um, you won't get a whole ton of starts, so you can kind of skim through your first couple of seasons a little bit quicker, you know, and use your off-season training to boost your stats. So, but that being said, thank you so much for coming by and watching the video. Sorry, this is a bit longer of one. So like I said, I'll take a look at the settings because I'm pretty sure that's what did most of that. But if you did like the video, please drop a like. If you'd like to see more, please drop a subscribe on your way over to your next viewing choice, and we'll catch you on the next one. Till then, thank you and all the best.